Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday, and welcome to another episode of Tea and Coffee with Paula and
Jay in the studio.
Yay!
How are you?
I'm good. My husband is back, and so is the bad weather. It is starting today. We had a dusting of snow, but I'm incredibly grateful that while you were away, we had amazing weather. It did make life a lot easier for us, but I'm very grateful you're home. And happy
Did you
birthday!
just blame me? Did you just blame me for the bad weather? I kind of heard that.
Well, it'd be you and BT because both of you guys came back at the same on the same day. But yes, we had dusting of snow, which we're meant to get a little bit more today, and then it's hitting tomorrow. But yeah, we've got the minus 10 to 20 temperatures coming up for this week and beyond. But it's winter in Alberta.
And it looks like no X right now. Not even on the go. And X is down.
Yeah, it does seem it was up and running like this morning, maybe about half an hour ago, because I was catching up on some posts, and now it's just wah.
Break it.
I hope not. I'd like to know how. If it was me, my magical powers. But no, not that I'm aware.
It seems to be down. So you're not watching this on X right now, but you're on all the other platforms. Kind of why we do multi-platform.
Yep.
If something's down, we're good to go with the rest. So hello to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, Rumble, and Locals.
And
Locals look good.
Yeah, Locals, it's fine. Everyone's in there and no one's complaining that there's no feed. Good morning.
Good morning. So how have you been? Yeah, you mentioned it was my birthday.
It was your birthday. We partied like it was your birthday. Actually, bless him, he was so tired that we had his birthday dinner last night because he was like, I'm not. We had a lunch. We had a late lunch, and then it was like, okay, we're not really going to have a big dinner. But JJ made dinner. He was making the appetizer. This very yummy sour cream, chili, and cheddar dip. And that ended up being our dinner.
I came home to 3 people that really missed me.
Yeah.
Jacob jumped out of the car to come see me. JJ had a little gift for me. It was really sweet. And you even put a couple gifts in the cup holders for me.
Yeah. Got you a Slurpee. And he likes these Thrills gum, that purple. And I've never eaten them because they smell like soap.
You should try at least one. Try at least one.
No.
And I think they're great. She's like, I smell soap. I'm like, you bought them.
Yeah, exactly. So anytime you smell soap, someone is chewing Thrills chewing gum. But yeah, I got a little something on as we meandered our way over to the airport. And a very cool thing, as the boys and I are driving up to Edmonton Airport, which is actually Leduc in Alberta, we see this plane coming up with our far right. And I says, hey, that plane's coming into land. And we know Jason was descending. He says, I bet that's Daddy. And we're driving along and we're going to like the perimeter of the airport. And this same plane is now crossing right in front of us. And there it is, Porter. I was like, yeah, that's Daddy. So we were quite excited. And JD took a picture. And yeah, we got a shot of you coming into land, coming back home to us. We were very pleased about. Yeah, it was very cool.
Yeah, I didn't know, but you would have saw me because I was on that side of the airplane too.
Yeah.
So how's everything else?
All good. Except X. Oh, I wanted to highlight, we had mentioned that there was a 15-year-old girl, Sydney, missing from the Stony Plain, Spruce Grove area. Thankfully, she has been found and she's back home with her family. Very good news about that.
We don't have any of the other details on what happened, but I'm glad that she's home. And as far as we know, safe. So maybe we'll find out some more details.
Yeah. I plan to speak to the family member that we know. I just wanted to let the dust settle, let them calm down and finish being inundated with other messages. So I'll reach out to them and give them a call later.
And then what else is going on around here?
The ice. So my husband, we're home and we were doing some work outside because again, trying to make some hay while the sun's still shining. And we're walking through some ice and my husband kindly reaches out to hold my hand. Mm-hmm. But I should have realized he had an ulterior motive because, again, I'm not a fan of walking on ice, anything on ice. My husband holds my hand, subsequently holds me firm, and starts shaking me along the ice. And I have to admit, I'm hello, Jason, no! And I am holding onto his arm, this is why you had your thick jacket on because the talons were out to try and hold on for dear life. And then I tried to let go and shuffle my way away from you. Not a fan, folks.
I'm trying. You got to throw the kid in the water to learn how to swim. I'm trying to show you how to be stable and secure and comfortable on ice, because you certainly are not any of those. Yeah, the penguins laugh at you as you waddle.
They can. They walk on ice. The penguins can laugh at me. They are welcome to.
But just get you stable. Get you feeling good about it.
Yeah.
But we still have no X.
But I'm not a big fan. But so that was a bit of a giggle and heart palpitations moment yesterday. But no, all was well at home, and all was well at our friend's farm. They came in very late last night, night before last, and so I sent her an email giving her a summary of everything. And a warning to anyone who has dogs that are tall enough to reach a countertop: if you're putting anything on there, put it deep in so the dogs can't reach. We were collecting her eggs, and we put everything off to, and bless him, JJ didn't realize, he just put it on the counter. We put it on the morning. We came back in the afternoon, eggshells all along the floor. The dogs had devoured the eggs and destroyed the egg carton. So you did have eggs. Sorry, your dogs ate them.
But, so you killed a hen and lost a bunch of eggs.
Yeah. I seem to have a nefarious feelings towards chickens, it seems.
Okay, so we got a little bit of eggs back.
Oh,
so
good.
Let me try and
well, they must be trying.
Yeah, they're trying.
They must be trying.
So let's keep it going.
So, why don't you share? How were you? How overall? How was
busy?
So yeah, his travels were good. Jason came in around lunchtime, spent some time together. Oh, and everyone who is celebrated, happy Family Day today. We will be checking out Breton Community Center. We've got the pancake breakfast. I think it's normally put on by the Elks. So donations for your breakfast, and then there's lots of fun activity stuff for the kids. And I think it's all going on till about 11 o'clock today at the Breton Community Center. At least that's for us locally. I'm sure in whatever town or city you're in, whether in Alberta, Ontario, or other province, we'll be having some Family Day activities going on for you too. So enjoy if you are partaking in it.
Well, Valentine's Day, did you enjoy it?
Yes, right. It was your birthday. It's your birthday. Even for the boys, they celebrate your birthday, which is always nice. But again, every day is Valentine's Day, so we've never really picked a day, the date to celebrate it. But anyway, folks, I hope you guys did. Good morning. Oh no, you're probably laughing at my hilarity there, Marion. But yeah, everyone, how was your Valentine's Day? Do you celebrate? Or was it just another day? And if it was just another day, what did you do?
And we're having difficulties getting our Levine show on X. So give me a second. Please keep going.
Okay.
Just give me a second and I'll get that going.
All right. Let me just go through some of the chats that we have here. Good morning. Oh, geez. Spill. There you go. Good morning. Good morning. Yes. Good morning, Martin. Great to see you. Thanks for being there. And and I also want to thank one of our locals members, Brother T. He's a great guy, and I found out that he attended 2 of the Sean Hartman screenings while Jason was in Ontario. So, Brother T, thank you so much for your support for Dan. You've always been a proud supporter. You always speak highly of the fact that you are from Beaton, which is, of course, where Sean was from. So, thank you very much for your support, and again, getting the message out for Dan as well. So, thank you guys. We really appreciate it. Let's see what else. Oh, that's nice. So, Marion, I made a surprise baby shower for my daughter on Valentine's Day. Oh, that's nice. That's nice to see. Baby showers. My baby showers were fun. I was blown away on the number of diapers we collected, but it was handy because it set us up for a good chunk of time after the kids were born. So, thank you very much who do that. Let's see what else we have. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, all. So, yes. So, what we're going to hopefully be hearing from Jason is how the Ontario trip went for the shot, the Sean Hartman story. So we're looking forward to hearing some information on that, and to give you a heads up on when we're anticipating more screenings, both in Alberta and which ones are going to be continuing in Ontario as well with Dean Rainey.
Oh boy, we had a coffee drop. We had everything fall apart on this end, and we still didn't get the Levine show on. One of those mornings, folks.
Well,
first thing I do is I turn my computer on. It says you were in trouble. Turned out I just had to restart and we were okay, but it's one of those mornings. Maybe we should have had a family day off.
I agree. I will always say let's take a day off, but we do it so early. that by the time we're done, the kids are just getting up, so we still have time with them. And that's the top of Jason's head. There you
Sorry,
go.
yeah, because we got coffee all over the equipment. Worry about that.
We? No, we'll tidy it up. Don't worry.
Okay, so we'll try and get things here. Holy smokes! Yeah, even that got wet. One of those mornings. Okay, folks, let me get you the news.
Yeah.
Let's go straight to the news now. Okay. We got at least that far on X going. We got
That's
some
back.
but we have no X viewers coming in. Oh, they're starting to. Okay, there we go. Everybody's X was down. All right.
Elon, what's going on? I'm
So
sure
we
we'll
had
find
Stockwell
out.
Day on Friday, and he's
Yeah.
not dead that I'm aware of, even though there was a fire alarm that went off while we were doing the show. That was only during the backstage, right? Yeah.
Hey, maybe
Yeah.
just doing the backstage. That's right.
So some of you didn't know that.
Yes.
You should become a member.
Yes, I was going to say, let's go ahead and go ahead and subscribe, hit the like, go ahead and share. We greatly appreciate it. If you want to become a supporter, go ahead and you can see the extended episodes and enjoy it and find out what when the people's fire alarms go off at their buildings. Yep,
that was a lot of fun and great information from him about the Conservative Party politicizing the events in Tumbler Ridge, and some of the things that he thinks that Pierre needs to do in order to regain a lot of support, take bold steps. And I think we agree with a lot of that. He basically said he needs to take bold steps and be a little bit stronger. I think a lot of people agree with that. All right, so let's get into how we did. So thank you very much to React 19, the official channel, for reposting and made a little video here. Got the title wrong because it's the Sean Hartman's story. But in either case, I'm very pleased that they put this out there. Got quite a few little views on it. Thanks to everybody who was sharing our event as we are getting ourselves ready now for the Alberta leg, and there's more coming in Ontario as well.
Yep.
I can tell you the next one in Ontario is on the 22nd in Delhi, I think it's called.
Delhi.
Yeah. Okay. Delhi. Yeah, Delhi going all the way to India Airport. That'd be something. But here we go. So as I came back, one of the things I watched on the plane was Marty up north and Tom Westwood conversation or debate about Alberta independence, put on by Rachel Parker and James from Critical Compass. I watched on a plane, and quite frankly, at first I posted this saying, "Great job to everybody for doing this. This is what we need to do. We need to talk." I still feel that way. But then I actually watched it. I'm incredibly disappointed with Troy Westwood. He actually had no substance in anything he said. He just did all the CBC talking points: Trump this, Trump that, traitor this, traitor that, white supremacy, white Christian nationalist. He called the movement full of white Christian nationalists. Well, for starters, you moron. What does nationalist mean in that context? Canada. Yeah. Okay, so obviously they're not Canadian nationalists. That's silly. White, why do you have a problem with a race? Christian, why do you have a problem with a faith?
Yeah.
Like, why are you even bringing this up? Well, I've seen the video, and that's all I see. You can tell people's faith by video, and there's plenty of women, and there's plenty of people, diverse people there. He's just choosing not to see it.
But again, still not speaking to a relevant reason to why to stay within Canada.
When Marty asked him, he goes, "Okay, well, give us reasons why we should stay." He's like, "Canada does not need to get on a knee to beg Alberta to stay."
Oh my!
Was his response to that?
I'm going to have a drink.
He also said that we should not have the law to, because Marty goes, "Well, we're doing a legal process." He's like, "Yeah, that should be taken away. It should not be a law. You should not have the right to try and break up this country." Like, nothing in what he said helped the argument to stay. So thankfully that was done, because frankly that's what it did. And he's from Manitoba, so I'm not even sure why we can't try and find somebody in Alberta to try and argue this, give some reasons to stay. He's from Manitoba. His perspective is not even Albertan. He goes, "I have family that lived there once." Okay. Yeah, but he'd had all the CBC tropes, everything that you would expect them to say was said. Marty did a good job staying calm, quite frankly, because Marty could have come out a little bit harder on him. But he was very calm, and he laid out some things. And when Troy asked, like, "Why do you want to leave?" and Marty laid them out, like several of the economic reasons, the cultural reasons, the political reasons, the we're being abused reasons. Marty kept using the divorced analogy, and he's like, "I don't think you should be saying it like that. You should use a different one." The reason being is it's a good one.
Yes.
I think it actually is something that everybody can understand. But this Troy guy, I think, was a very condescending guy. I kept calling him brother to trying to make his point. But yeah, the white Christian nationalist stuff that he's starting to end on, so annoying.
These people are so racist. They are so
If that's all he sees in the
racist.
video is race, then yeah, you're a racist. Especially if you dislike a group. Anyways, I had to get it off my chest because I watched it on the airplane. I couldn't swear or say anything. What is this guy talking about?
Oh my goodness. That's like when you started to, because I hadn't watched it. So when you started talking, like, I got to take a drink. I got to keep my mouth busy.
He's very upset with
Wow.
Trump. He absolutely kept doing that trope that Trump is trying to take over. Trump's a liar, a pedophile. Like all the Democrat or liberal talking points came out of him, which, by the way, helped the movement.
Yes, of course.
Because people that are listening to this as a debate, here's exactly how one side is talking, and that is how one side is talking. It's just unfortunate we couldn't get in, or they couldn't get an Albertan to.
Because they don't exist.
No, that's nobody. Well, they exist, but they're not willing to come on.
Yeah.
They're not willing to come on. So I was very disappointed. At first, I was pleased that this happened because I do want to see these conversations happen.
Yes.
And quite frankly, I was listening to it to see, well, what is it? Like, are they going to try and give us reasons to stay? Nope. Called us brats or something like that. Temper tantrum brats. Like, no, they shouldn't have the right to do it. We should take it away. We should change the law. Mario's like, you're going to force somebody to stay in a bad relationship? He's like, you guys shouldn't be able to leave.
Oh my goodness.
So go check that out. Yeah, maybe Paula will watch it a little bit later too. And then when you do watch the full one here, actually, no, not that one. So I don't want to click anything on X right now.
No, don't.
But you can go to my post, and then Critical Compass posted the 1 hour version. So go and watch that.
If I can, I will try and find it, folks, and then I will put it in the chat. So
yeah, it's on YouTube. So go ahead and do that. So great news. Keep fighting. Tumbler Ridge victim is safe, but still recovering after being shot in the chest. So it's a young man who was shot. We're seeing a lot about Maya, M-A-Y-A.
Maya.
Maya. We're seeing a lot about her recovery as well. She was shot in the head and the neck, as far as I know, because X has been playing up. He's still with us. But this gentleman was shot in the chest, and he's, well, great. Keep fighting. I don't want to click the link, guys, in case we lose this. Here's a young girl who was assaulted by a male student in the hallways in Oregon, and just assaulted, grabbed her by the hair, threw her on the ground, hit her in the face a bunch of times. Here you go. You're seeing it now. This is a young man who's dressing up as a girl, hitting an actual girl. And I hope these are the kind of scenes that people say enough of, just completely enough of this. So parents, speak up, press charges, remove your children. Your primary job is to protect your child. Do so. So hopefully there's more follow-up to this at some point. But when I came across it, it said he wasn't even expelled. So there's a lot of violence coming from a certain group of people, and they said they're going to. And I think the mental health needs to be addressed very, very quickly. Something needs to start happening here. Mary Taylor Bowden, very good friend of the show, Dr. Mary. She just got a call. She was posting this from someone who sent it to her. Just got a call from my Herman Method doctor friend. She said to tell you, you will never know how many doctors are so happy for you. Thank you. And I told her to I'll pass it on. So what's going on is she's being vindicated. Mary's being vindicated. So the Attorney General of Texas is on her side now, making sure that her license stays where it needs to be with her and keeps fighting. So my post here is we need more Dr. Marys out there. Doctors, be a Mary. Stand up and fight back. Actually, be a Mary or a Mark. So Mark, like Mark Trozy.
Yeah.
Instead of being Karens and Kevins, be Marys and Marks.
Yeah.
Stand up and fight, because that's exactly how we get this thing back on track. The more doctors get back on track on this issue, which is COVID, maybe the trans issue as well. Let's get our world back to sanity.
Yeah.
And I mean that on every single level. I'm tired of seeing people harmed, all sides of the table, because of this whole, let's pretend medical science doesn't exist anymore. Let's just dictate science and consensus and use consensus. Consensus, what people say. That's not science. Let's get back to it. So be Marys and Marks out there. Sign up and fight. Here's my her condition is improving. Keep praying.
Yep.
Thank you for that. There was a concern first couple of days that she wasn't going to make it, but here we go. Now, Brett Sears, and a lot of people, there's another updated version of this because one of these images have been released. But let's remember the victims, the actual victims.
Yeah.
There's a lot of groups pushing the other side. But let's remember the victims in this. Very sad, the lives lost. And yeah, let's not forget.
Yeah.
Okay, so Stay Free Alberta has posted out a canvasser. You don't need permission to start. Okay, so here's a lot of things that's important that I wanted to get across. If you got your badge, you can go, and you got your papers,
Yeah.
you can go and collect. You can go anywhere that you're allowed. You do it with permission. You're not allowed to just kind of force yourself in any way, shape, or form onto property, by the malls, inside stores. You can't do that. But if you get permission, you're more than welcome to go. And the permission you need is from the landowners or the business owners, not Stay Free Alberta. That's what they're saying here.
Yeah.
You don't need permission to get started, so go. Then they laid out a bunch of the action guide for the canvassers. And the things that you can't do, though, is you can't just start events and use the logo without Stay Free Alberta's.
You.
Oh, phew.
Well, I thought it was
Yeah,
your
so
coffee.
That'd have been on the floor. That'd have been fine. But do go follow the guidelines. If you want to do an event, you likely will be able to. Just contact them and do it. Part of the problem is when it comes to the Elections Alberta finances, because there's a finite amount of money, just over 500,000 that Stay Free Alberta can contribute to events. When you're promoting an event that has nothing to do with them, but you're using their logo, Elections Alberta will consider that as one of their events. And if they don't see the finances for that, that could cause more problems. So make sure you're doing it the right way. But yeah, you can go out there and start collecting. You can go to the parks, you go to people's homes, you can set up signing events, you can do all of that. But if you're going to do an event where you're renting out something, make sure you contact Stay Free Alberta.
Yeah, and my Facebook feed is full of, hey, I'm going to be at this grocery store parking lot. I'm going to be people putting their locations, and all they're doing is setting up their car, maybe opening up the trunk, and just sitting there ready to have a conversation and ready to take your signature. So there's lots of little pop-ups out there, and people are posting where they'll be. So good job.
Fantastic. Our last stop in Ontario was Oakville. We filled that room as well. You could hear a pin drop during the documentary. Thank you to everybody who helped. We had lots of volunteers at this one. I was able to kind of just hang around. We're taking care of the door and everything else. So it turned out to be a great event. We got Dan Hartman himself. He's right there watching the documentary again. It takes a lot of strength on his part to keep going through these documentaries. But thanks to everybody that showed up. We had some guests show up as well. So Dr. Shoemaker, he did a good 30, 45-minute medical question period, which is good. Greg Wycliffe showed up. Thanks for your support there, Greg. Tom Marazzo was there as well. And everybody else who showed up, thank you so much for a very good show. Several of our fans of the show were there too. Got to meet them. And it was a good event. So thanks for Oakville for showing up.
Yeah, and I thanked Brother T. I'm not sure if you heard, for turning up twice.
Yes, he did. Good man. Okay, so here, thanks to 0Fox808, I may have found another reason to support independence, because even Calgary Sun's now posting this and report on this. In Calgary and Edmonton, hundreds upon hundreds of thousands would exit Alberta, mostly NDP and Liberal voters. You have that hello.
Yeah.
So, if you're in the middle and you're not sure about where you stand on independence, but you definitely want to see us get back to conservative values, common sense, and a good moral compass, I'm going to vote yes. Come put your signature down and vote yes, because we'll get there. Back where we're heading. And some of the people who are making it difficult, the unions, the advocates, the pushing into the schools, making life difficult for a lot of people, said they will leave. So, okay. And I do expect that to happen. I think there will be a prisoner exchange. A lot of Canadians that feel like prisoners in their own province will come here. As long as they're productive and can contribute, we have no problem with that. And then those that want to be part of Canada and get those dependency checks and go down with the ship, you're more than welcome to go there. So enjoy that.
Yep.
There's now been what appears to be some violence against canvassers. So this person here streamed himself and put it up on his own Facebook, and he jumps out of his vehicle and it looks like he goes to attack. He's definitely verbally attacking, but can't control himself. This is really sad to see, because this never happened when Forever Canada was out there.
Exactly, yeah.
And Ideally, this person is found. He put it on his own Facebook before he chose to delete it, but it was captured by then. Hopefully, there's some charges here. This
Mhm.
is unacceptable. This shouldn't happen at all. If you want to be part of Canada, your recourse is to vote no.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do, you can vote no. You'll have that choice, the chance. And I was thinking about this morning: is why are these people so upset? They guarantee you he signed the Forever Canada petition, which could have also gone the way he didn't like,
Yeah.
but it was still a democratic process, which got dropped. And now you're going to have a chance to actually vote. But why are you so upset? I think they're upset because they actually see how many people are showing up. Maybe they were part of the Forever Canada campaign and didn't see numbers like that show up to their signature events
Over and over again.
and
Yeah.
have that many signature events and that many canvassers. So I think they fully understand this is going to be not just successful at the 178,000 level, it's going to be very successful.
Yeah.
And if it's very successful, there's going to be a lot of people who were unsure if this is legit or going to get to a referendum. Those people are going to go, oh, this is real. And decide
Yeah.
on what they want to do. Because we still have a good group in the middle who's undecided. And if they start seeing large numbers and reality and start understanding how this can work,
And getting more information about the facts.
they'll make their decision.
Yeah.
And more of those are deciding, yeah, it's time. It's time for us to go. Let's make history here. Especially if you're and you're undecided, you're like, well, I don't know which side to be on. You see violence on one side, and you see nothing but good people flying their flags on the other side. It kind of makes it easy to see which
don't be
side
on
to
that
go.
side. Don't be on that side that is verbally abusive and feels the need to get out of their vehicle to be threatening. We don't know what they did.
We don't have any more video, but it does look like
However,
somebody.
he didn't get out singing and talking about daffodils and sunshine. He got out to be threatening.
Or lollipops. And what's the other one?
Sunshine, lollipops, and however the rest of the song goes. That's the extent of
U.S. is making possibly some historical changes down there. So congratulations to Senator Ron Paul. He's introducing a federal bill to end vaccine makers' liability shield. This is part of our documentary. We go into this into great detail. Canada doesn't have this, but the U.S. does. And if the U.S. decides to pull the plug on this, anything that was fraud, misrepresented, absolutely wouldn't even be covered anyways. But to remove this particular portion of their laws would be a fantastic start. Fantastic start. So good job on Ron Paul, and our good friend Nicholas Fulcher, who's been on the show a few times now, is posting about this. This could be a big thing.
Yeah.
Like, here's what I think. I was talking to somebody about this during the documentary in Ontario. They said, do you think Pfizer is going to lapse, something along those lines? I said, actually, I think it's going to be the insurance industry, because the insurance industry has liability insurance, all this other stuff in place, and they're the ones that are going to be paying the bill at the beginning. So they're broke. So things like AIG, large companies like AIG, I think, and that's why I think that they're the silencers. So you don't really hear about insurance or big insurance. Like, you don't hear that. You hear big tech, big pharma, but big insurance are the ones that cause Chrystia Freeland to remove or push on removing insurance. She was able to freeze bank accounts, so big banks got involved. But when she said, we're going to remove your insurance, the insurance company said, no, you're not. No, you're not. And they're powerful enough to have her turn around on that. It was insurance companies that told the professional liability people that was carrying professional liability insurance, you'll lose your insurance if you don't follow government guidelines. So the lawyers, the doctors, the nurses, the colleges, all of them carry professional liability insurance. So those are carriers, in addition to the colleges, the carriers said, no, if you don't follow the guidelines, we will not indemnify you. So big insurance, I think, is the one with the biggest tentacles around, pushing a whole bunch of people into a certain direction. And I think that's the reason why, is because it would go bankrupt immediately if vaccine injured and dead were able to hold lawsuits and be compensated for their loss. It would be like overnight, they're done. So
even just the act of having to defend it.
Yeah.
So no, and I agree. Coming from the insurance industry, that was my former life before homeschooling. Yeah, no, there is such a thing as big insurance, in my opinion, for sure.
For sure, and they're silent. They're not getting all the headlines. That's because that's how powerful they really are. All right, so we got through our X. We finally made it through there. X is kind of cooperating now. People are starting to jump on, which is good.
Yeah.
but we also now have our guest.
Yes.
So let's see what else can we spill or drop around.
Who is we? You.
We're married. It's a we. I'm sharing the marital liability with you.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Let's go ahead and bring Jon in from Alberta. Jon from Alberta. That's how he's known.
Mhm.
And if you see his flags online, you'll know who we're talking
Good
about.
morning.
Good morning, Jon. How are
Good
you?
morning. Good morning.
Nice to see
Can
you
you
without
hear me all right?
sunglasses. I think the last time I saw you, you had sunglasses on.
Wait, let me go get them quick.
Yeah.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on Family Day in Alberta.
Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. It's our pleasure. It was really nice to meet you in person in Leduc. I believe that was the 6th of February.
Yeah.
Boy, these weeks just fly by for me right now. And really nice to meet you there. Thanks for coming out. I didn't get to see you at the end because I think you had to run back and get some stuff done or something. But it was nice to see you there. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, no, that was a good presentation. I had to leave early because my wife was expecting me at home. And I didn't get to stay for the whole thing, but I did watch it online. And it was an excellent presentation. Thank you so much for all that you've done. Like, you've been a leader in this movement so far. It's really awesome to see.
Well, that's a title that we didn't expect. Okay, so certainly we are facilitating conversation. Certainly we're bringing people together in rooms and online. Even when X is having trouble, we're doing our best to get it out there. I'm not sure if you noticed this morning, but X is having some difficulty. And then we'll be traveling again. So that was one thing we didn't talk about in the beginning.
Yeah.
The next few weeks. So this week we're not traveling. I'm not traveling. But starting next week and then probably for 4 weeks, I'll be doing The Shot, the movie, bringing it all over Alberta, BC, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. And then early March, or that will be March.
Yeah.
So the second half of March or so, I'll get back to the independence conversations. So, Jon, that's what you went to. You went to a Leduc one with Kathy and Hodgkinson. Let's go ahead and start there. As you saw people showing up in there, what were your thoughts about the number of people coming in?
Well, I'm a bit nervous that a lot of these events are just like preaching to the choir. And I kind of want to share my personal experience, something that you should just be aware of with me. I represent the group of people in our society who weren't engaged before this. We didn't participate. We were probably too afraid to talk, or we had opinions. Like, I had opinions before this, but something just woke up in me. Like around Christmas time, seeing that, hey, this is actually something that's going to happen, that we're going to have a petition signing. And then I was like, okay, should I do something? And, you know, a couple people that I know pushed me. They're like, hey, you should definitely do something. You have some abilities. And then I just heard, I heard Kathy Flett actually talk live before even your show. And so that really kind of got me going. And then, so yeah, I represent that part of society that wasn't, fully engaged. And so I think that should be optimistic, because whatever got through to me is probably what's going to get through to other people.
And
So
Kathy, I was going to say, Kathy is, I keep tooting her horn happily. She's an excellent speaker to this subject. She comes with facts, good information, and lays it out very, very clearly. Like, what is the alternative? We can't stay in the way we are. So she presents very well.
So, Jon, when you first heard Kathy, were you undecided or against, and then you moved, or like, where were you when it came to your deciding?
Well, I think I've always been a bit of a rhinoceros when it comes to politics, because it just seems like there's nothing that ever makes me happy, right? And I think that I did, I think that I did have strong opinions about Alberta independence before. I just never thought it would ever happen. And I think what got me on board is realizing that it's actually possible. And she laid it out really well, and Dr. Hodgkinson laid it out really well. And I forget who else I heard speaking. It was in Red Deer. There was a lady, I forget her name, but I made up my mind around Christmas time to get into this, maybe early January, and then let's do this. I believe in this cause. This is the first time in my life where I think that the change is actually possible, and it'll be really meaningful. It's not just changing some abstract, little thing here, tweaking something, little thing there. We can actually make something really good. We can build a nation.
That is exciting when you say it that way. We built a nation. You hung out with us before the event.
Yes.
and there's a couple other of my friends there. And we had good conversation because even one of my friends there was unsure about the process, whether or not the 750 rule applied, whether or not Canada will have a say on this and stop us. And then you heard some of that back and forth banter. So did you pick up any new information as we were doing that?
Well, so that was kind of an interesting experience because everybody there in the group was a stranger to me, and so I kind of just went into like default, just be polite and try not to say stupid things mode. I am a pretty socially outgoing guy, but it's good to get to meet people, and I I'm glad that we got to hang out before that, but I still want to have you on my channel.
I definitely would come onto your
Mm.
channel, and yeah, it would be a pleasure of mine too.
Got to be a walk in the
Okay, so
park.
yeah, you were kind of thrown into the lines then because you were surrounded. Literally, we put you in the middle, and the people on either side of you, so you were trapped in that booth. You couldn't even escape if you wanted to. But the conversation, though, like even at that table, the conversation wasn't an echo chamber. There was conversation going in a whole bunch of different directions there, and that's what I like about what's going on here. Even friends of mine, they don't necessarily know all the facts or have all the information. But a lot of people kind of have made up their mind that they're either going to find out more information or they're ready to go ahead and vote. So where are you on that stage? Are you still collecting information, sharing information?
Oh no, I'm 100% in. On a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is like let's stay forever and 10 is like let's go yesterday. I'm a 10. I'm an 11. uh, you know, but with what I do with my channel, I do meet a lot of people who are in the middle on this, and it's interesting what I'm doing because I can see kind of in live, like action in their mind, the gears turning, people actually starting to think, hey, maybe actually, I get there's one young guy I was talking to. I haven't published this video yet. I might. It's a little bit different. You know how it goes, right? But I could see the gears turning in his mind. He was asking me some really informed questions, but he basically, my strategy is to let people talk themselves into it, right? And I think that's what you do. You put the information in front of like Kathy and other people, put the information in front. Here it is. Can't argue with the information. All right, where does that lead you? And it leads you, I think, to independence. I think that's the only way forward. And I'm really optimistic for this movement. I think we're actually going to do it. I really believe
I
that.
think so
Wonderful.
too.
On your travels, have you come across anyone who's been able to debate the stay in Canada, not argue it or yell at you or diminish anyone who was looking for sovereignty, but anyone who's been able to clearly present the benefits of staying in Canada?
A lot of people try, and I've had some that I would say have done better. There was a guy in Calgary, an older guy, and he was talking about the economic arguments of it. And then there's a couple others that have done a good job, like a lawyer, like a law student at the U of A. He did looking back. I have the privilege, the ability to edit everything and to kind of listen to myself talk in slow time, and I don't cut anybody's words up, but I don't think there's any real good arguments. But to be also fair, I don't think that the opposite side has people who are sitting down and thinking about this academically. Like our side has at least 50 people who are thinking about this at a high level, intellectual level, and you're yourselves included. And I don't think that's the opposite side just kind of takes it for granted. They're like, oh yeah, this is the way it is, and who would ever challenge this? And then to see a guy with a big flag or somebody with a podcast challenging this, it just seems so boom, like an explosion in their face. They're not ready for it. So maybe as time progresses, some of the more reasonable voices will start to come out. Maybe some university professor or some lawyer or something like that will pop up and present some good arguments. But I could tell you the 3 that I've heard if you want to hear that.
Please do.
Yeah.
So the best one, in my opinion, that it's the most ability to persuade is the economic argument. And it's mostly sympathetic to the rest of Canada because, like, yeah, Alberta is going to do really well and Saskatchewan if they join us. But there's going to be hard times for everybody else. And there's a part of me in my soul that just doesn't want that. It's like, oh, okay, I got to be a little bit cold-hearted and just say, you know what? You guys screwed us for too long. You keep blocking us. You keep taking away our freedoms. You keep doing all this stuff to us. And you're voting for these idiots that are like actually ruining your country. You get what's coming to you, you know? And so that's kind of how I respond. Yeah, you get what's coming, right? And then the other argument that's kind of persuasive and not really is just more patriotism. It's like, yeah, this is big, hoorah, rah, rah. Canada's big. Canada is an awesome country, and we're just a big country, and that's kind of a good argument too, I guess, but not really. And then actually, I just forgot the third argument. It'll come back to me
Maybe
eventually.
Nostalgia, like what Canada used to be.
Yeah.
Maybe I combined it in there because it's like, yeah, Canada used to be something big. The third one is we can fix it. That's what it is. It's like things are bad, but we can fix it. I'm like, okay, we tried that. We had a majority government, with Stephen Harper, and he didn't do anything. Arguably, he might have even made it worse, right? Because he changed some of the things with equalization, that brought in like royalties as being more heavily, 50% or whatever it is, right? So he might have even made it worse, So,
and I think he actually laid out three pretty good ones for there, right? So the rest of Canada is going to go through some hard times. That's probably true. The Canadian dollar is going to drop as soon as Alberta's vote comes in. And then the provinces that are receiving funds from Alberta won't be anymore. But part of that is also, Quebec looks like they might be separating as well. So 2026, October 5th or 6th, are having their election. Currently leading the polls is Parti Québécois, which said we're bringing a referendum to the table for separation, sovereignty. So that may be happening sooner than later. And one of the arguments out of Bruce's party from Ontario is if Alberta votes yes on the referendum, this could cause the rest of Canada to kind of rise up and force Ottawa into a position of renegotiation for all provinces, which means all provinces could be looking at the ability to go ahead and get your resources out to market, go ahead and have less restrictions on you. And so provincial trade completely opened up, free trade amongst provinces. We talk about free trade with countries, but inside Canada, there's a lot of restrictions with trade in between provinces. The sovereignty of every province is being vitiated or ignored right now. There's a lot of overreach from Ottawa on everybody. So maybe Alberta voting a yes could cause and force a lot of provinces to push hard enough on Ottawa that it fixes Canada, gets to that third option, can fix it. The Clarity Act, if you read it carefully, says once it's invoked, the only outcome is to be separate, to secede. So Alberta will still be gone if we vote a yes. However, the rest of Canada might be able to fix itself and stabilize itself so that it can go ahead and continue. I'm not optimistic on that because that would require a cooperative federal government. That would absolutely highlight how bad this federal government is. And when given the opportunity to first work with Alberta over the last year or so, they didn't. They kind of made superficial overtures and didn't actually fix anything. And then if they're going to be put into a position where things are collapsing, I don't think they're going to step up and try and fix it. So I don't know if that third option, although it's a good argument, can we fix it? Works. And if you look at this like a divorce, the wife and husband are not getting along. It's very abusive to everybody. The children aren't doing great. It's a horrible home. It's best to separate. And then we go, well, can we fix it? Well, we've been trying for quite some time. So I'm not sure about that one. But I definitely agree with the first one. Rest of Canada, the dollar, it's going to be very surprising to a lot of people at how much economically Alberta was contributing. And this could be why they're so angry. One argument that I did make, because I was thinking about what would we lose if we left Canada, would be Olympic gold medals. All right, our count would go down. But after seeing the curling and the pushing of the rock and all this kind of stuff, I don't know if I want to be part of Canada's Olympic team anymore anyway. So I'm not sure if we're going to lose much there. But what are your thoughts? If Canada, can it fix itself? If Alberta leaves, is that opportunity there? Is Bruce's party onto something? What are your thoughts there?
No. Well, so, okay. Personally, I don't want Canada to be fixed. I have been against the idea of a monarchy, a central government. I am a libertarian at heart. a lot of people probably would argue with me on a lot of things about my personal views, but so I actually kind of want it to fall apart, and I want Alberta to reconstruct itself. I think this is a good, healthy exercise and just freedom going forward. It's a good thing for history to remember this is what happens, and we can fix it, like by rebuilding it. I mean,
Yeah, I
but
agree.
then, yeah, and then like I don't know, fixing it's not really possible. To prepare for this show, I was thinking about something. A good intellectual exercise is to always try to argue the other person's point of view, right?
Hmm.
Then you really understand it. And I was like, well, how about this? What would persuade you to change your mind? Right. And then I would ask you that question. I'd ask both of you that question. What would change your mind? And, okay. And then if you can't change your mind, what does that mean? Right. And then I think, what would change my mind, and what would change my opponent's mind? Right. So these are kind of some of the questions I was trying to think of. So what would change your mind to get you right back into the camp of, I love Canada,
Go
I'm never going to
Canada.
leave? Yeah. Oh, Canada.
It would be the freeing up of our resources and the ability for us to process them ourselves. Basically, give us the sovereignty that we're looking for.
Oh, so I'm gonna stop you there. Give us.
Oh,
So
I-
you're still looking at them as an authority.
Sure. Let us have the sovereignty that
Again,
we're
that's the
looking for, with regards to the freedom of accessing our resources, going internationally without being held under the thumb and asking for permission. That would be the key thing, because that's only going to be bringing in more wealth to Alberta. I'd like to see either be gone with equalization, but that will then subsequently affect our other provinces, but at least then maybe redo the formula so more money is staying within, like pay for us first, and then if there's extra that goes out. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough because I personally am all in to separate and have Alberta sovereignty. It's just simply what I would like to see.
Oh, and sorry, I should have put you on screen. I completely disagree with her, almost 100% on that one. We need to completely do the whole country all over again. It needs to be United Canada. United States of Canada, where every state within the Canada is a republic. There is no monarch at all. We are first state driven, much like the U.S. is their state with a small federal government involvement. I would like to see that. So complete republic across the entire country. Individual states run their own stuff, contribute maybe to national security and some other things on a federal level. Much smaller government on a federal level for sure. Completely not involved. Each state has their own criminal code, has their own taxes, very similar to how the United States are. The United States is not a federalist system. It's a state system with some federal government. So it'd have to be basically the same as the United States. No two-party system. So get rid of first past the post. It'd have to be something that's a lot more representative. Elected senators, elected judges, elected sheriffs, along those lines as well. Right to work on a state level. We could have the ability to get rid of maids. Like, I would like to see the Canadian Criminal Code gone. I'd like to see the federal legislature gone and only focus on true federal level stuff. So very, very radical change, which I don't see it coming at all. Not these little tweaks with the formula that Paula said there. I think that that's a fool's errand because that's what we thought we're going to get under Harper, and it just swung the other way. So I don't think that's going to happen. And also, I loved how she has some love in there for the other provinces because she's more worried about the have-nots.
Well,
You got to get rid of that system completely. There's no such thing as have-nots. There is held-backs. Okay?
yes, I like
Held-backs.
that.
So we got to remove all that, like get out of the way. So that's where I'd like to see that head. If there was a possibility for me to change my mind to see a new Canada, it would be the United States of Canada, a republic, no monarch at all, brand new constitution, something along what Bruce Party was laying out. And if we could be that radical in that change, I could see many Albertans with my mindset saying, yeah, I could work with that.
And it'd benefit the whole country.
But anything less than that, not a chance.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Like it's hard for us because we're all in to actually think of something that would change our mind. What I thought when I was asking myself that question, I was like, okay, this might cause me some pause. I'm not going to change my mind, but it'll slow me down a bit. Let's say that like the RCMP just released all the 10 or whatever names of the MPs who were doing business with China, right? And they just released all the evidence, and then they're like, actually, we already arrested them all. They're all sitting in jail right now. And Trudeau, he's getting put in cuffs as we speak. Like, they're live camming it. And then I'm like, oh, you know what? Actually, maybe now we'll have another election and see if we can get a conservative government and look about fixing the Constitution. Would that change your mind?
John, I hate to burst your bubble, but under that scenario, Pierre would be in cuffs, because I strongly believe he's one of them. The reason why he didn't get to security clearance, the reason why he wasn't pushing to expose it, is because it's not just one party. I believe many of the major leaders are part of that. I've got some inside info that I can't release publicly simply because it's single source. But the single source
that would probably cause the cascade, where now it'd be like, okay, Pierre falls with them too, and then all the parties fall. Ironically, Elizabeth May was the only one not on the list because she was too drunk. And then, well, then we come together as Canada and really think about it, and probably causes a republic, or maybe we rethink everything about our government. It'd be like a day of reckoning. The whole government just goes to jail. It's not going to happen, right? But it's fun to imagine. That would change my mind.
So
and as John Bolton in our chat mentioned from Alberta, good friend of the show. I've been on his show now. Basically an impossibility is what we're laying out here. Basically an impossibility. This is not going to happen. Yeah, John, exactly. So if he stops cheating, he breaks up all those relationships, he's nice to the kids again, he brings home the money, he gets forgiveness, he gets a good job, he's able to supply, he's really loving to the wife again, like all of this stuff that's not even in his character, then maybe, not even guaranteed. Yeah, not going to happen. I'm sorry, not going to happen. I think Canadians, as we know it, it's over. Just like the Rock in curling, they're not really playing by the rules anymore. And what would really do well is a union of republics. Yeah. So Alberta could be first, maybe Quebec as well, Saskatchewan, BC could have a referendum about splitting up, because there's really two BCs. There's north, the mainland, and then the rest. And maybe all be republics that work together. And if we did something like that, I wouldn't want to see a federal level. I would just like to see a lot of good trade agreements in place and agreements in place for security and other things where we don't need a federal government. We're all separate states, but we work together. I'd like to see that. People can call that the new Canada or something like that, whatever. But I think our biggest problem is the centralization of the power. When that happens, you have small group of people at the top. And if you have a monarchy, our head of state is still the king. Yeah. So there's a lot of centralization that needs to be decentralized. And I think the only way to do that is through the Clarity Act, one province at a time. And then we work out agreements between each other to get things done.
There's a comment here, it's a little bit long-winded, I want to share from Daniel Hunter on Facebook. Speaking of conversations, I just got back from Quebec. The hotel I was staying at turned out to be the big talking point in the lobby. It started with just two of us talking about the separation. We ended up with about 50 or more talking about, and it never got out of hand. Most of the people that were there were Quebecers, and they were completely understood why we want to separate, and they completely comprehend how much money Alberta supports them with. But the big question was, who was getting this money, because the Quebec people are not seeing it. I just couldn't believe how open-minded these people were.
Actually,
Thanks for sharing that.
I've heard that too.
Yeah, we have the answer to that. So the Parti Québécois leader, something Paul, sorry, I'm horrible with names, especially if they're all French. He came to Alberta to sit down with Jeffrey Rath, Mitch Sylvester, Dennis Modry, and he said it doesn't leave the federal Quebec level. It doesn't leave the bloc. And it's basically the bloc is taking that money. Here's what he said, so I can't confirm or deny it. He said the bloc is taking that money and embezzling it and doing corruption there. And that's kind of to keep them in line with Ottawa, to keep Quebec in Canada. But it's not making its way down to the people of Quebec. So and I've said this many, many times. Don't be mad at the people. Okay? Be mad at their government, because the people are great in Quebec. And they actually don't hate Albertans. You saw that during the convoy in Ottawa. It was Alberta and Quebec basically coming together to fight for all of Canada. No, they're good people there. But according to Paul Saint something, I can't remember his name. He says it's not leaving the federal level.
I think.
Yeah, there you go. He says
Okay.
it's not leaving the federal party level. So the Parti Québécois has been receiving that money, according to him. So I don't know. I don't know the details around that.
I've heard the same thing too, and that's very intriguing to think that this is all just a big scam, and there's some greedy, power-hungry people at the top in Quebec just scooping all the money. That sounds believable. So I kind of want to go back to what we were talking about earlier about what would convince you. Except I want to ask that question in reverse. What do you think would honestly convince somebody opposed to this to now become for it, like opposed independence? Like, I love Canada and I am never leaving. I'm never changing my mind. Oh, here's something that might actually change my mind. What do you think? What comes to mind?
Is this person Albertan or outside of the province?
An Albertan, yeah.
You go ahead, Paula, and then, or you want me to go?
Go ahead. Let me mull it over.
Clarification that they're not going to be the 51st state. That would be a big one. Some truth about the CPP. What's really going on with the money there? How stable is it? How secure is it? How underwater is it? So some truth around the Canadian pension plan, and also the truth about Alberta pension plan. You will be taken care of. Some clarification around the process. Will it be a violent process or a very peaceful process? If that's the case, okay. And then some truth around the actual cost. Can Alberta afford it? Because a lot of people say we can't afford it. Well, the truth is, yes, you can. So if those four things, because those are the biggest talking points that are being used against us, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. If those are actually addressed, so yeah, you're not going to be the 51st state. The Canadian pension plan is underwater. There is a process that's peaceful. And yes, you can afford it. I think a lot of people that are on the fence or even on the no that are attached to these arguments, these misunderstandings or misrepresentations might go, oh, okay. Well, if those aren't a problem, I don't see another problem. And then I'm going to be good to go at that point.
See,
what he said.
Oh, sorry.
Well, no, I say that because when I spoke to people, those have been the talking points. That's exactly those talking points.
Fears.
Yeah. It's 51st state and pension. Those are the top two for sure. I would agree.
Oh, we agree on that one.
Yeah. No, we agree on that one.
I feel like I'm definitely on the right side of things because if you can lay out clearly your opponent's position, that means you have intellectual honesty and you've thought about this. And that, to me, that's a really good indicator that we're on the right side. Because I feel like almost everybody on this side could lay out some good arguments, like you just said, for the other side, because we've thought about them all. But the people who are opposed to this, they don't seem to understand why we're opposed to it. You know, it's just emotional arguments, and it's actually just anger. It's a lot of swearing and a lot of anger. But yeah, no, thank you. I'm gonna clip that part and write some notes, and then think about all those arguments more.
Yeah, and those are the ones we hear a lot. As we're doing these events, right?
Yeah,
and these are people that are undecided. We've had people come into the event saying, "I haven't signed. I'm here for more information." And then when we address those, they go inside.
Yeah, they go inside.
I guess if you want to add a fifth one, it would be the Indigenous issue, that it is ceded land, and they have the opportunity to self-determination. They don't have to be under the restrictive Indian Act anymore, and even the treaties. They are not very beneficial. You got the opportunity to have a brand new negotiation, and ideally, we're all equal. So if you want to add a fifth one, it would be the Indigenous issue. Tell the truth about it. And if people understood that, they'd be far more supportive of it.
And to be clear, there's even people still on our side who have signed who still have concerns over their pension, but they believe in the movement, and they believe no matter what and how it's going to turn out, it's still going to be better than what we're currently working with. And they think it's the right decision for the province and its people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salt and pepper. They say, like, I've signed, but I still, are we going to get our pension? And it's like,
yes.
Yes, you will.
I probably shouldn't. I'm gonna say it anyway. Ever since I started making this video, a lot of people started contacting me, and I've been contacted by a few people who say they live on an Indigenous reserve, and they invited me to come out to their property, I think. And so I'm negotiating making a video with some people. It may not happen. It might happen. I have to kind of think about my personal security and my issues, and also the optics of doing this. But the kind of the invitation sounds like it'll be with a couple of people who are not chiefs, but like they're elder respected people. And then they're gonna like let me just ask dumb questions because I gotta kind of have a pass to ask dumb questions without offending people. But I think that is a big issue that a lot of us, that for me would be if I was back in the camp of being opposed, that would be an issue that would bring me over for sure as well. Because the current system will never fix itself. It'll never get better. In
Right.
100 years, Indigenous people will still be living in poverty, and they'll still have addictions and mental health problems because of it. And nothing will ever improve. They're going to be the Queen's Indians or the King's Indians. I'm using the legal term forever. But you know what? We can fix this. I believe we can. I believe reasonable people can come together and make this system actually better. And I don't quite know how that's going to look. What do you think that would look like?
How it would look like after a yes vote?
Yeah, like how could we fix because like, okay, so one of the big problems, for example, is Indigenous people on the reserves don't own their property. And so they can't like build personal wealth, they can't sell it. And but then if they started selling their like, say you owned your house, you could sell it. Conceivably, people from another country could come and buy all the houses, and then now the property isn't owned by the Indigenous people anymore, right? And so
I think the only solution to that, John, is to remove the two-tiered system. So there is no such thing as reserves anymore. Everybody's exactly the same. And you can move and live and grow your wealth and pass it on to generation. I think what you would probably see from where we are to where we can be, that stage, I don't even like to use the T word, the transition word, but during that particular portion of the stages of this, you're going to see a lot of Indigenous people want to keep it within their family, want to pass it on to the next generation, not necessarily sell it to the highest bidder. There would have to be a lot of improvements happening before you see a lot of people wanting to buy that property. But first start, get rid of the two-tier system. Like I know Indigenous people who do not like the fact that judges will give lighter sentences to very bad people simply because of their heritage. So no, get rid of the two-tier system and it will settle out. You'll also see the opposite happen. A lot more investment into those communities will be happening because they're actually ripe for investment because there's a lot of prosperity that can happen there, a lot of development, a lot of growth. They're actually prime for that. When you go into a third world country and invest, it becomes a second and then a first world country. So it's a good place to go and invest. We probably would see a lot of people putting some good money into infrastructure, into the reserves, clean water, good roads, good electrical grid, all that kind of stuff will start happening, good housing. There'll be a strong investment into those communities. And I think that would happen pretty quick.
Yeah, I was going to say, and as a new nation, we have the ability to implement restrictions on foreign investment and property.
That's on the table.
So that because we're again population of what 5 or so million. We would be a modest nation, and so we don't want to be taken over by foreign investment in personal property. So we could definitely, as we are creating our infrastructure and laws and restrictions, we could implement that. So it wouldn't necessarily just affect Indigenous land or the reserves. It would be for the whole of Alberta to make sure that we're not purchased by foreigners.
Now, that's not new. That's not even radical. Lots of countries do that. 51% ownership has to be local. That's pretty common all over the place. It may not seem common here because we've opened it up and let anybody own everything, but that would be absolutely something that I've heard that would be on the table.
And not long after we left the GTA, didn't they implement like the foreign investment tax? Like those restrictions.
Yeah, they didn't restrict the ownership, but they added tax.
A tax, but we could do that as a new nation. We can put in these protocols in place to prevent that from happening. I'm not too concerned about that.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds all fantastic to me. I don't think it'll be an easy sell because there's a perception of loss, right? Where Indigenous people have a treaty and they have land and they have special rights. Let's just say like they have legal special rights. And I can't, for me, I'm like, okay, I see three options. Things stay the way they are with Canada. Things stay the way they are with Alberta, or we renegotiate. And the renegotiation would only be something better. I don't know why Indigenous people would accept an offer where they basically dissolve the reserves, lose all their special rights. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, here's the thing, though. It's been sold as special rights.
Yeah.
But is it? You can't own property? How special is that?
To us, that seems reasonable. But
well, that's the way it was sold, though. You read the Indian Act, and it was sold as helping, but it's been depressing. It hasn't actually helped at all. Here's what I think you're going to see happen. The referendum vote is going to come in. And because they can break down by region and where people voted and how they voted, not necessarily name names, but they can say in this region, it was like 90% support for it. You're going to be very surprised at the actual votes on the reserves. And so when that actually comes out and it goes into the Constitutional Convention stage, I think you're going to see a minor or a small political revolt on reservations because the chiefs and then everybody else do not align. And they didn't align before the vote and they won't align after the vote. So there may be a little bit of a shuffle on the power structure that's happening in Alberta when it comes to First Nations so that they're properly represented in the Constitutional Convention. Because that's where the whole, what do we want to do is going to be answered. And I think what you're going to learn is there's going to be a strong push for self-determination, one rule of law, and let's all just be equal. And there will be no desire to continue. And this will come from the community itself. There'll be no desire to actually continue with the old system. I think that a lot of people will be shocked by that. There's going to be pushes out of BC First Nations and other parts of Canada First Nations chiefs as they start to see all of this crumbling on them. So there goes their big paychecks and big envelopes full of cash, as Alberta First Nations is one of the first to kind of free themselves from the chains of Canada. That's what I think is going to happen. It's going to be right after the referendum vote. They're going to see the numbers and they're going to be shocked that the numbers are so high on the reserves for independence. And then from that, it's going to kind of empower those communities to go ahead and say, okay, these chiefs don't represent us. They're not going to represent us at the Constitutional Convention. And at the end of the Constitutional Convention is one constitution for everyone. I don't think there'll be a two-tiered system anymore. That's actually my hope, but actually speaking to Indigenous people, this is what they're saying too. Many in our groups that we talk to are saying the exact same thing. They want self-determination just like the rest of us.
Yeah, and it's not an erasing of their culture or their history, not at all, but it's giving a prosperous future for all Albertans. And for the first time, they will be included in that and not segregated.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing from people.
Would there be anything like hunting privileges or rights? Would
for everybody. It's not just for First Nations. We all can.
But like, I can't go drop an elk in March or April.
At the end, they to be determined.
No, I think under what a lot of people are pushing for, which is a truly free Alberta, the government doesn't get involved in those kind of things at all. And a lot of that is artificial. Like they're saying, oh, if we over hunt and all that kind of stuff. The truth is people will go take a few, go back to their home, chop it up and have a good year, a freezer full of food. I don't think the government needs to get involved in that level. Like fishing, game, wildlife, that whole department needs to be minimized to the smallest possible. Under a free Alberta, you can go drop an elk in March. Maybe you won't drop
Do you hunt, Jason?
We're getting there.
Yeah, we will be.
Okay.
We're getting there. But maybe it won't be a pregnant or young or anything like that. You get a certain type or something like that. But I think at the end of the day, it should be the same rules for everybody else, which could be no rules.
So I'm a hunter, and I'm strongly in favor of quotas and control over how much you can. Like we need to conserve it because, like, honestly, I would shoot a moose every time I walked across the field if we didn't have controls over it. So we absolutely need. Well,
let's be honest here, John. Would you really try and have 30 moose in your freezer for the year, or would you get enough?
I wouldn't, but lots of people would. Because I'll tell you how tempting it is when you got a rifle in your hand, you're stalking a whitetail that's like, half the quarter the size, and you're like, there's a big moose just standing there. It's like, it's really tempting. I'd be lying if I said I didn't have my finger on the trigger a few times.
What's your temptation? Is it the meat or is it the kill? What's your temptation?
Oh, I want the meat. Like, it's delicious. Fill the freezer, go home, I look, a lot of people poach, and that's really gets under my skin is when people poach. But I think Indigenous people, it'll be a hard push for them because they do. I think now there's a couple good examples. There was one in Manitoba where they caught like an Indigenous group of people who just slaughtered the whole group. There's several good examples. It was in the media. I heard about it. They got like 100. They just wasted all the meat. They think it was
See, that's
local Indigenous.
That's where
Yeah.
I'm going with this one. Is if there is a
It
you
happens,
can't waste requirement, like if you're
but it
taking
happens
to
way
feed
less.
yourself-
I think the
Sure.
Indigenous people much more understand. They have a culture of it that's much more understanding. But it happens on both sides. Poaching is bad. I would just say
Yeah.
like, okay, we have rights for everybody. Then okay, that reins in how much Indigenous people can have, because then we're gonna have to let some non-Indigenous people like ravage Albertans. You have to have some sort of lottery where you can go. But then there are legitimately places in Alberta where Indigenous people rely on that meat still to survive. You know,
I would be
Like-
more interested in trying to find ways to eliminate the waste and poaching. Like if you're just taking it for
Yeah.
a certain body part and you're leaving the rest, that could be targeted no matter which culture you have.
Mhm.
And as you laid out there, every once in a while, and Indigenous people do that. But I think what we're talking about here, and we're beating ourselves on the head on, is a small group that can be targeted. But to say you're Indigenous, therefore you have free reign, and then you're not, and then you're under all these restrictions, I think that's another two-tiered system. And we got to look at different ways to do that. If the
That's right.
genuine issue here is wasting the animal, then that's where we target. That's where we fight that. Like you can't do that.
Mm.
If you drop an animal, just take the head for your wall and leave the rest. That is not okay. But if you, John, your freezer's getting empty, you go find another moose and you take one and put it into your freezer, that is okay. Because that would be a fair thing for everybody. Now, this is just conversation
Yeah.
on a Monday morning, like family day, but I think some of these issues can be hashed out. Let's target the actual problem and actually address that instead. Because I don't disagree. There's going to be people that abuse. We're seeing that in our chat. People are saying people will abuse. Yeah, that's where you focus any regulations that you have in place. Maybe you're able to take down a moose and bring it to the local butcher, sell it. Now we have some more meat in the system.
To go with our raw milk that we should also have in the Free Nation of Alberta.
Yeah, because I could see a bunch of butchers opening up and saying, yeah, wild butcher, you can bring it. And within a certain amount of days or hours of a kill, you can take the head, the rest goes into the system or something to feed people. Because I'd
That
love
might
to
be
be able
complicated.
to wild meat.
Mm.
It may be
Hey, here's a-
complicated, but it's a lot less complicated than forcing a whole bunch of people to be restricted while other people have a two-tiered system. If the goal is to not have a two-tiered system, we may have to address complicated issues like this.
And so we need Indigenous people to come on board with that. We need to educate and persuade.
Well, here's the thing, John. We are going to align more with what they have now, which is responsible hunting. Just do what you need to survive. Responsible hunting. We're basically going to remove the restrictions on everybody else and get responsible hunters. So for the Indigenous people, their system doesn't change. Go take what you need. Feed your family. Leave it like that. Don't waste. Use it all. Great. In fact, learn from their system a bit more. Because if the actual concern is non-Indigenous people totally ruining it for everybody else, that's where the focus should be.
I love this comment here from our locals chat, because again, if there's no two-tiered system and we're all equal, the comment here is they wouldn't need to hunt to survive because they wouldn't be repressed. They'd be more financially stable. And so I like that comment there.
But culturally, they also do hunting too. But also culturally, everybody that hunts is hunting culture. Like if you're a hunter, that's a hunter culture. I think what we could do is become more responsible and learn from how it was been done for hundreds of years with Indigenous people. And then those that abuse are the ones that are targeted on any side.
And a little side note here, and no CFIA. That would be great in Alberta.
Yeah, they're getting really nasty now, killing everything.
There still are Indigenous people that live in really remote areas that's just not practical to. It'd be really prohibitively expensive to switch to like Alberta beef. You know, when they got
No, I
moose
don't think they
walking
should have
around.
to change at all. Let's adopt their hunting practices and make sure.
I think
that
there's
we're
a good middle ground here, and I think it just takes some careful thoughts, and I think we're on a good path. There was another thing that's kind of closely related to. I think you'd be interested in talking about. And
Well, we actually got to jump over to our private side
Yeah,
now,
so we
because we
can-
actually ran long because it's such
Oh,
a
we
good
did.
conversation. But stick around.
Oh,
Don't leave.
okay. Oh, okay.
Don't leave, because we're going to do our goodbye, and then we'll come right back to you and finish up that thought. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm going to talk about it on my YouTube channel then the next time I have you on.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think these are good conversations to have.
Mhm.
But ultimately, in my mind, the goal is a truly free Alberta, which means one tier system, all under the same rule of law. And we learn how to be responsible with environment, our neighbors, our security. Like, we need to learn how to do that properly. And that could include things like hunting and fishing and wildlife. I think that's a great way to do that.
Yeah. I like the expression, Rome was not built in a day, and neither will the new Republic of Alberta. It'll
We're
take
birthing
time.
a nation. Go
Yep.
listen to the Hamilton soundtrack.
Well, we referenced it at dinner last night. We are on the cusp of, this is exciting for us. This is, the line was, tomorrow there'll be more of us.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, we are seeing something very exciting in our history, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
But John, you're an awesome man. Hang on, don't run away.
Yep.
So when you see the show kind of end, it's not ending. We're going to come right back to you. Okay. Awesome.
Cool.
All right. Well, folks, there you go. Like, there's a lot of things when you get into the weeds and try to
Yeah.
figure it out, like land, who's got what, who can do what. In a free Alberta, there's a lot less restrictions. And I do think as long as you're not destroying things, you're good to go. But those that abuse the system, those where the target should be when it comes to trying to crack down on that. But great questions. John's a hunter. He's got some good
Yeah,
points.
it is our environment. It is our wildlife. And of course, we want to preserve, conserve. But yeah, we also are a nation of hunting too.
Yep. And looking at the other side, having the conversation about their concerns and their talking points is important.
Yeah.
And it'd be great if we could get somebody on the show to do exactly that. They're worried about those 5 things we laid out, and we can talk about it.
Yep.
Just like we did right now with hunting with John.
All right. And if you like it, go ahead, like, share, subscribe. We greatly appreciate it. And you can also become a supporter and join us right now for the second part of our conversation with John in Locals.
Thank you all very much for being here. It's great to be back. And we'll be releasing some more information on supportsean.ca on where you can watch the documentary as we roll it out all over Alberta and Western Canada. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to take a bit of a break this week, catch up on some things, find some venues, and then hit the road again.
Yes, everyone, though, have a happy Family Day if you get celebrated in your province. Otherwise, if not, have a great day. And see you tomorrow.
And if you're near Breton, we're going to go to the Family Day thing in Breton today.
Yes.
So come say hi. Take care, everybody. Love you all very much. God bless.